this book is a one of a kind for me, and it's my first time reading a book like this, and so it was very unusual, and the suspense was chef's kiss. Hi, welcome to day one of my 30-day reading review, where I will be reading 30 books for June, so that's one book per day. And to start off this challenge, I have The Echoes of Old Books by Barbara Davis. Now, to be honest, my first book for this series would have been I Will Give You the Sun. I'll insert a picture here, as I do have the physical book around here somewhere, but whatever. Alright, so for most of the books I'll be reading during this challenge, they are Kindle books, as I don't have the physical books for any of these books. Now, I could gone ahead and buy the books, but I'm a minimalist. I don't want to be wasting money in books that I probably DNF or probably don't enjoy. With that being said, now if you want to be a part of my 30-day challenge, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. And just so that you are involved within this challenge, for each book that I'm doing this month, you can comment the color red if you've read the book, blue if you haven't. And if you haven't, you can state why you haven't read the book and if you would. And if you have read the book, you could say one thing that you've enjoyed about the book. Let it be spoiler free, please. Now, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Now, from time to time, I will be looking away because I do have some notes here. I'm a very shy person, but for the most part, I do talk a lot. So just to ensure that this video stays under at least 12 minutes, I'll be looking down from time to time. Now, to give you a brief synopsis of this book, it is basically about this girl. Her name is Ashlyn, and she can get echoes from books. Like when she touched a book, she can basically feel what the previous owner felt. So that's basically about her. She owns this bookstore, and 2 books came in the store, and the echoes for these 2 books are different. And as she reads these 2 books, she gets the story behind the authors. These books also have not been published, so therein lies the mystery. That's basically what it's about. So in terms of genre, it is a historical fiction. You could say historical mystery, because there's a little bit of mystery and a little bit of romance. So that's basically where genre is concerned. Now, in terms of pace, now it is slow and steady. It's not like slow as in too slow, it's just slow and steady. So the pace for the book, based on the genre, is perfect. Now, I'm probably going to have to remove this, but alright, so we're going to move on to the things that I did like about this book. So one of the things that I like was the storyline, aka the plot. And one of the reasons why it was very unusual, growing up as a kid, I read a lot of historical romance, but historical mystery suspense, no, this book is a one of a kind for me, and it's my first time reading a book like this, and so it was very unusual, and the suspense was chef's kiss. So that's one of the things that I liked. I'm going to give you 4 more. So the conflict and tension between the persons that wrote the 2 mysterious books, it was very intense. And this is a book, if there's ever a book to read with one sitting, this will be the book. I mean, the tension was chef's kiss. Alright, so the next thing that I did like about this book is the relationship that slowly developed between Ashlyn and Ethan. And as you read the book, you'll begin to know who Ethan is. So I love the relationship that slowly progressed between those 2. Another thing that I loved, as you get towards the end, you realize that a lot of things could have been avoided if the authors or if the characters within the book had just communicated. But however, if there's ever a time for the miscommunication trope to be done well, I would say Barbara Davis hit the nail on its head. I'm not sure how that saying goes, but you get what I'm saying. I hope you do. If there's ever a time for the miscommunication trope to be done well, Barbara Davis nailed it. She did. Right, so sorry. I went away for a minute. I love how connected I felt. I felt because I read and listened to it. So if you love audiobooks, the audiobook version of this book is really good. The narrators they nailed it. Chef's kiss. Now, if there's ever a time that I've ever felt connected to or felt like I was, while I was reading and listening to this book, I felt as if I was a part of this book. I felt as if this was my story that I was telling to someone else. And so, when I said I read this book within a day, I meant this is literally a day's read. It's not too long. I think it's 437 pages, if I'm not mistaken. But the plot, the storyline, you're not going to want to put this book down. You're going to want to keep on reading. It's just amazing how... I'm sorry if I keep smiling. It's just amazing how this felt like my story. I mean, this felt like my story, and the romance, it was clean and tension filled, and the suspense, oh god, the suspense, you're gonna be wondering each page. You're gonna be like, what happened next, what happened next, what happened next. And I'm happy to say that this book left you with no cliffhangers. You got 100% closure with this book. I mean, this... oh god, I'm sorry. And I loved the ending. It was magnificent. However, as a part of the 30-day reading challenge that I'm doing, one of the questions I'm trying to finish reading all of the books that I selected. However, this year is a part of as I started reading again, if I'm not enjoying a book, I'm going to straight up stop reading it. But sometimes I might pull through. And so there's a question that I have in a list of things that I do when I'm finishing the book is I ask myself, did I want to DNF? And this is definitely not a book that I wanted to DNF. And as much as there was a lot of things that I liked about it, I did not like one thing. And that's, I would have loved to see Ethan and Ashlyn more. And if you read the book, you'll basically get what I'm saying. They eventually start a relationship. And I get why they would be drawn to each other. But I didn't get to see them as a couple. It's just like you wake up one day and they're a couple in the book. But that's the book is not about them. But at the same time, it is somewhat about them. So I'd have loved to see them more together. But that didn't happen. And that's fine. That's fine. I got closure with everything else. But I would have loved to see them together, to be honest. So that's one of the things that I did not like about this book. And if you're looking for a book that has a plot twist, this book definitely did have have a plot twist towards the end. It is definitely a book that I would recommend, and I would recommend to someone who's looking for a historical fiction with a little bit of mystery, a little suspense, and a little romance. That's most definitely for you. Now, another question that I ask myself whenever I'm reviewing books is whether or not I would read the book again. And to be honest, yes, I would definitely read it again. It is a lovely read. And if you're into audiobooks as well, you'd most definitely enjoy the narration as well. Now, final thoughts and rating. I would have loved for this book to be a 5-star read, but unfortunately, this is going to be a 4.5 for me. I really loved the most aspects of the book, but I'd have loved to see Ashley and Ethan more throughout the book. And to end each of my book reviews or my 30-day reading challenge book videos, I normally try to get a quote from each book that I like, and so I'm going to read the quote that I like for you. I'm also going to see if I can put it up on the screen as well for those who want to see it. So I do apologize if I'm looking away for a minute here. It says, "In the happiest times of my life, I have reached for my books. In the saddest times of my life, my books have reached back." And this is a quote from one of the characters in the book, Ashlyn Greer. And it is sort of something that I could relate to, because throughout my darkest moments, I normally read, and my favorite type of book to read is normally fantasy, because I want to be dragged and sucked into a world that's different from the one I'm living now. And so, it's sad to say I'm at the end of this review, if you can call it that. And if you did enjoy this and wanted to see more videos like this, I do implore that you go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to have you as a part of my journey. Now, if there's any book that you'd like me to read, you can leave it you can comment it down below, and I'll definitely see if I could read it, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Now, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay fit, and I do hope I'll see you in tomorrow's video.